Good noon to you all. Today we are going to discuss part 2 of pharmacokinetics. In previous class, we have already discussed consequences of biotransformation. Out of three consequences, namely formation of an inactive metabolite from active drug, like formation of hydroxyphenytoin from phenytoin, and second, formation of active compound from an inactive drug or prodrug. Examples being formation of dopamine from levodopa, formation of paraoxone from parathione, and formation of ampicillin from talampicillin. We have already discussed these two consequences in previous class. Now we are going to discuss the third consequence that was left in previous class, that is formation of an active metabolite from an equally active drug. Examples: diazepam to form oxazepam, amitriptyline forms nortriptyline, imipramine forms disimipramine, and codeine causes formation of morphine. Coming to the next point of today, that is first pass metabolism. We have already discussed it in the previous class, but today we are going to just rediscuss it because it is important while discussing today's next portion of biotransformation. So first pass metabolism are the metabolism of a drug from its sites of administration before it reaches the systemic circulation. Their examples are in this table. Drugs metabolized in the liver is the isosorbide dinitrate, glyceryl trinitrate, morphine, pethidine, xylocaine, imipramine, amitriptyline, and propranolol. Drugs being metabolized in the intestinal mucosa equal to levodopa, alpha-methyl-dopa, tyramine, testosterone, progesterone, chlorpromazine, and drugs metabolized in the bronchial mucosa are nicotine and isoprenaline. Coming to the next point, xenobiotics. Xenobiotics, substances foreign to our body, are called xenobiotics, and it includes not only drugs but also processed food, food additives, cosmetic products, environmental pollutants, agrochemicals like insecticides, fungicides, pesticides, plant growth promoters, etc. Phytoallergens, a dietary plant toxin group, are other examples of xenobiotics. Coming to the next point, biotransformation, already discussed in the previous class. That is, biotransformation is a process of biochemical alteration of the drug in the body. Biotransformation is needed for detoxification and to protect the body from ingested toxins. Coming to the next point, that is classification of biotransformation reactions. There are mainly three in numbers. Phase 1 reactions, also known as non-synthetic reactions or degradative reactions. Phase 2 reactions, synthetic reactions or conjugation reactions. And third point is non-enzymatic inactivation of a drug by molecular rearrangement. Now examples of phase 1 reactions or characteristics of phase 1 reactions. They are mainly microsomal enzymes, and metabolites are smaller molecules, and being polar and non-polar metabolites. Metabolites are active as well as inactive. Phase 2 reactions. Most enzymes are microsomals, mitochondrial, or cytoplasmic enzymes. And metabolites are usually polar, so they are inactive in nature. Examples of non-enzymatic inactivation of a drug, example being atracurium, and this reaction is also known as Hofmann elimination of drug. Now coming to the next slide, that is enzymes involved in biotransformation belongs to two major classes. They are named microsomal enzymes and non-microsomal enzymes. Microsomal enzymes, they are present in a smooth endoplasmic reticulum of the liver, but also present in intestinal mucosa, lungs, and in kidney. And types of enzymes belonging to microsomal enzyme groups are three in numbers mainly: mixed function oxidases, cytochrome P450, and third being glucuronyl transferase. Now coming to the non-microsomal enzyme group. These enzymes are distributed in cytoplasm, mitochondria of hepatic cells and other tissues, and also in plasma. And there are 5 major types of enzymes belonging to this non-microsomal enzymatic groups. They are monoamine oxidases, esterases, amidases, transferases, and conjugases. Now coming to the next points, oxidation and reduction. What is oxidation? All the processes associated with addition of oxygen or negatively charged radical, or removal of hydrogen or any positively charged radical is called oxidation. And reduction are the processes associated with addition of hydrogen or any positively charged radical, or removal of oxygen or any negatively charged radical. Now coming to the next topic, phase 1 reactions. We have already discussed before, that is phase 1 reactions are degradative reactions or non-synthetic reactions in which smaller polar or non-polar metabolites are formed. And in this topic we are going to discuss all phase 1 reactions, all different types of reactions involved in phase 1 reaction. Phase 1 reactions involves mainly 3 types of biochemical reactions: oxidation reactions, reduction reactions, and hydrolysis. And each these oxidation, reduction, and hydrolysis reactions are further divided into two different groups depending upon their sites of biochemical reaction. They are microsomal or non-microsomal. Now starting oxidation reaction. Oxidation reactions again are of two types, microsomal and non-microsomals. First, describing microsomal oxidation. Microsomal oxidation consists of 6 different types of oxidation reactions. They are aromatic hydroxylation, aliphatic hydroxylation, dealkylation at atoms nitrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. Fourth reaction being oxidation at nitrogen and sulfur atoms. Fifth being deamination reaction, and sixth being desulfuration reaction. Now starting aromatic hydroxylation. This is a hydroxylation or oxidation reactions in which a ring structure is formed. Example being phenobarbitone and metabolite is para-hydroxyphenobarbitone. Phenytoins, propranolol, amphetamine, and warfarins are other examples of aromatic hydroxylation. Aliphatic hydroxylation, also known as side chain hydroxylation. Examples are formation of hydroxypentobarbitone from pentobarbitone, and other examples being digitoxin and ibuprofen. Third reaction is dealkylation reactions at atoms nitrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. Examples are methobarbitone to form phenobarbitone, morphine to form normorphine, and amitriptyline to form nortriptyline. All these three examples are examples of N-dealkylation. Formation of morphine from codeine and formation of paracetamol from phenacetines are examples of dealkylation at O atom. And examples of S-dealkylation is formation of mercaptopurine from 6-methyl-thiopurine. Now coming to the fourth oxidation reaction is oxidation at nitrogen and sulfur atoms. Examples are formation of trimethyl N-oxide from trimethylamine, formation of chlorpromazine sulfoxide from chlorpromazine, formation of cimetidine sulfoxide from cimetidine. Other examples are chlorpheniramine, quinidine, and dapsone. And fifth oxidation reaction is deamination. Examples are formation of phenyl acetone derivatives from amphetamine, and in this reaction NH3 is also produced. Sixth oxidation reaction is desulfurization. An example is formation of paraoxane from parathione. All these 6 oxidation reactions occurs in microsomes, so these are microsomal oxidation reaction. Now coming to the next point of phase 1 reaction, that is non-microsomal oxidation, which is cytochrome P450 independent reaction. And non-microsomal oxidation reaction consists of major 3 oxidation. Now coming to the mitochondrial oxidation with examples. Epinephrine is converted to vinyl mandelic acid and NH3 in the presence of monoamine oxidase. Examples of cytoplasmic dehydrogenation is conversion of alcohol to acetaldehyde in the presence of enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase. And again acetaldehyde is converted to acetic acid in the presence of aldehyde dehydrogenase enzyme. Third examples of oxidative deamination is histamine is converted to imidazole acetic acid in the presence of enzyme histaminase. And other example of the third oxidation is conversion of xanthine to uric acid in the presence of enzyme xanthine oxidase. So we have seen that there are 9 different types of oxidation reactions belonging to phase 1 oxidation reaction. 6 are microsomal oxidations and 3 are non-microsomal oxidation. Now coming to the next point of phase 1 reaction. Out of three major phase 1 reactions, oxidation, reduction, and hydrolysis, now we are going to discuss second reactions, reduction. Reduction again belongs to two types of reactions, microsomal reduction reaction and non-microsomal reduction reaction. Microsomal reduction reaction consists of three different reactions, that is nitro reduction first, azo reduction second, and keto reduction third. Now we are going to discuss nitro reduction. Example being chloramphenicol is converted to arylamine metabolite in the presence of hepatic nitroreductase and cofactor FADH. Again, example of azo reduction is conversion of prontosil, a prodrug, to sulfanilamide in the presence of enzyme hepatic azoreductase and cofactor FADH. Example of keto reduction is formation of hydrocortisone from the cortisone and formation of respective hydroxylated metabolites from two different drugs, methadone and naloxone. In the first nitroreduction reaction, the general formula for nitroreduction is RNO2 converted to RNH2. Now coming to the next point, non-microsomal reduction. Examples being chloral hydrate converted into trichloroethanol. So there are three microsomal reduction reactions and one non-microsomal reduction. Now coming to the hydrolysis, and hydrolysis is of two types, microsomal hydrolysis and non-microsomal hydrolysis. The examples of microsomal hydrolysis reactions is pethidine, which is converted to pethidinic acid, also known as meperidinic acid. And examples of non-microsomal hydrolysis is procaine is converted to PAVA in the presence of enzyme plasma choline esterases. Atropine is converted to tropic acid is the next example. Now coming to the next topic, stage 2 biotransformation reactions. Stage 2 biotransformation reactions are divided into microsomal conjugation reactions and non-microsomal conjugation. Microsomal conjugation reaction is the single microsomal reactions in the phase 2 reaction. Drugs containing phenolic, alcoholic, carboxylic, mercaptose or amino groups directly reacts with uridine diphosphate glucuronic acid in the presence of enzyme UDPG transferase to form UDP plus drug glucuronide conjugates, and these drug glucuronide conjugates are polar, inactive and easily excretable. Examples: the single exception to this microsomal conjugation of phase 2 reaction in which drug metabolized is not polar, rather they are active compounds. Example is morphine. All metabolites produced are not active, that is inactive. Exception being morphine, which is converted to morphine glucuronide, which is the active form. Otherwise, all reactions of microsomal conjugation usually produce inactive metabolites, and in these reactions UDP is always formed. Now coming to the next point, non-microsomal conjugation reaction. These reactions are broadly classified into 6 types, namely N-acetyl conjugation, sulfation, amino acid conjugation, methylation, glutathione conjugation, riboside and riboside phosphate formation. Now coming to the first point, N-acetyl conjugation in cytosol. The general formula of this biochemical reaction is RNH2, which is converted to RNHCOCH3 in the presence of enzyme N-acetyl transferase and cofactor acetyl-CoA. Examples of N-acetyl conjugation are INH, para-aminosalicylic acid, dapsone, sulfonamides, procanamides, and histamine. Now coming to the second, sulfation conjugation. It occurs in the cytosols, and general formula for this biochemical reaction is ROH plus 3 phosphodenosine 5 phosphosulfate in the presence of sulfotransferase is converted into highly polar compound ROSOOH plus ADP. In this reaction, that is in each sulfation reaction, ADP is produced and the enzyme required is sulfotransferase. Examples of sulfation reaction being aspirin, methyl dopa, paracetamol, hydroxycoumarins, corticosteroids, and chloramphenicol. Now coming to the next conjugation reaction of H2 reaction, amino acid conjugation. It occurs in mitochondria, and in this reaction, acyl-CoA derivatives of aspirin, benzoic acid, nicotinic acid, and deoxycholic acid combine with glycine or glutamine in the presence of the enzyme acetyl-CoA, glycine, glutamine transferase. It is a minor metabolic pathway. Examples of amino acid conjugations out of all drugs described above. One example can be expressed as such: benzoic acid plus glycine to produce hippuric acid in the presence of enzymes glycine transferase. Methylation reaction is of two types, N-methylation and O-methylation. Examples of O-methylation are dopamine and epinephrine. An example of N-methylation is histamine. Coming to the next reaction, glutathione conjugation. Many epoxides and drugs containing nitro groups and hydroxylamines, examples being ethacrynic acid, sulfobromethylene, undergo glutathione conjugation reactions in the presence of enzyme glutathione S transferase present in cytosol or in microbes. It is a glutathione conjugation reaction is a minor pathway. Coming to the next point, riboside and riboside phosphates, which are the last conjugation reaction of non-microsomal H2 reaction. Many purines and pyrimidines used as anti-metabolites in cancer chemotherapy form their active metabolites by forming ribonucleosides and ribonucleotides. This reaction is a minor metabolic pathway. Now coming to the next topic, enzyme induction. What is enzyme induction? Repeated administration of certain drugs increases the synthesis of microsomal enzymes. This is known as enzyme induction. The drug is referred to as an enzyme inducer. Examples being rifampicin, phenytoins, barbiturates, carbamazepines, griseofulvin, etc. This is the table with well description of certain enzyme inducers with the enzyme induced and the drugs whose metabolism is affected. They are described in three headings. Now we should start enzyme inducers. Phenobarbital, phenytoin, carbamazepine, efavirenz, glucocorticoids, and pioglitazone are the drugs which induce enzyme CYP3A4, and drugs whose metabolism is affected are midazolam, alprazolam, barbiturates themselves, ritonavir, calcium ion channel blockers, vitamin D3, theophylline, macrolide group of antimicrobial drugs. Second examples being rifampicin and phenobarbital. Again, both these drugs induce enzyme CYP3A4 as well as CYP2C9, and drugs whose metabolism is affected is oral contraceptives, warfarin, ibuprofen, tamoxifen, tolbutamide, and losartan. Next point, smoking charcoal broiled meat. Enzyme induced is CYP1A2 and drugs metabolism affected are theophylline, warfarin, imipramine, paracetamol, and neuroleptic. Chronic ethanol intake and isoniazid induce enzyme CYP2E1 and drugs like ethanol, general anesthetics, example halothane and paracetamol, their metabolisms are affected by ethanol and INH. Coming to the next point, clinical importance of enzyme induction. These are enzyme induction may accelerate the metabolism of drugs, thus reducing the duration and intensity of drug action, leading to therapeutic failure. Example, rifampicin, an oral contraceptive. Rifampicin induces the drug metabolizing enzyme of oral contraceptives, thus enhancing its metabolism and leading to contraceptive failure. Second, autoinduction may lead to development of drug tolerance. Example is carbamazepine enhances its own metabolism. Third, enzyme induction can lead to drug toxicity. Increased incidence of hepatotoxicity with paracetamol in alcoholics is due to overproduction of toxic metabolites of paracetamol. Prolonged phenytoin therapy may produce osteomalacia due to enhanced metabolism of vitamin D3. Next point, enzyme inducers can precipitate porphyria due to overproduction of porphobilinogen. Next, enzyme induction can also be beneficial. Example, phenobarbital in neonatal jaundice. Phenobarbital induces glucuronide transferase enzyme, hence bilirubin is conjugated and easily excreted from the body and jaundice is resolved. Now coming to the next topic, enzyme inhibition. Some drugs like chloramphenicol, ciprofloxacin, erythromycin, etc. inhibit the activity of drug metabolizing enzymes and are known as enzyme inhibition. So one drug may inhibit the metabolism of another drug with resultant increase in the circulating levels of the slowly metabolized drug and prolongation or potentiation of its pharmacological effect. Enzyme inhibition is a rapid process as compared to enzyme induction. Clinical relevance of enzyme inhibition. These are increased incidence of bleeding with warfarin due to concomitant administration of erythromycin, chloramphenicol, etc. These drugs inhibit drug metabolizing enzyme of warfarin, resulting in increased plasma concentration of warfarin and enhanced anticoagulant effect, resulting in bleeding. Next points of clinical relevance of enzyme inhibitions are severe respiratory depression with morphine when given with myoinhibitors, ataxia and drowsiness with phenytoin when given with chloramphenicol or decumarol, cardiac arrhythmia, severe cardiac arrhythmia named torsades occurs when terfenadine is given with chloramphenicol, ketoconazole, or macrolide group of antibiotics. Beneficial effect of levodopa in Parkinson's disease when given with decarboxylase inhibitor drug named carbidopa. Reversal of skeletal muscle paralysis due to D-tibocurarine by neostigmine. Now come to the next important point. Examples of enzyme inhibitors. Enzymes inhibited by them and drugs whose metabolisms are inhibited by inhibitors. This table gives details of so many examples. Now come to first one. Cimetidine. Enzyme inhibited is hepatic microsomal mixed function oxidase. Drugs metabolism affected are phenytoin, warfarin, antidepressants, theophylline, diazepam, quinidine, and testosterone. Other example is sodium valproate. Enzyme inhibited is hepatic microsomal mixed function oxidase. Drugs whose metabolism is affected is phenytoin, phenobarbital, and primidone. Third, erythromycin. Drug enzyme inhibited is hepatic microsomal mixed function oxidase, and drugs whose metabolism are affected or inhibited are theophylline, warfarin, carbamazepine, cyclosporine. Next inhibitor drug is ciprofloxacin group of fluoroquinolones. Enzyme inhibited is hepatic microsomal mixed function oxidase, and drug whose metabolism is affected is theophylline. Chloramphenicol is the other drugs. Enzyme inhibited is hepatic microsomal mixed function oxidase, and drugs whose metabolism is inhibited are terfenadine, tolbutamide, phenytoin, warfarin. Other example is verapamil and diltiazem. Enzyme inhibited is hepatic microsomal mixed function oxidase, and drugs whose metabolism are inhibited are theophylline, carbamazepine, and cyclosporine. Allopurinol is the next example. An enzyme inhibited is xanthine oxidase. Drugs whose metabolism is retarded is 6-mercaptopurine and azathioprine. Other example is myoinhibitors. Enzyme inhibited is monoamine oxidase, and drugs whose metabolism is retarded are morphine, pethidine, tricyclic antidepressant group of drugs Next example is disulfiram, tolbutamide, metronidazole. Enzymes inhibited is aldehyde dehydrogenase, and drugs whose metabolisms are inhibited are alcohol, phenytoin, warfarin. Eicosapent is the next example. An enzyme inhibited by it is acetylcholine esterase, and drugs whose metabolism is inhibited is succinylcholine and propanidine. Next example, captopril and enalapril. Enzyme inhibited is ACE, and drug whose metabolism is inhibited is angiotensin 1. Other example is carbidopa. An enzyme inhibited by carbidopa is L-aromatic amino acid decarboxylase, and drug whose metabolism is inhibited by carbidopa is L-dopa. Now coming to the next point, factors affecting drug metabolism. There are 9 factors which usually affect the drug metabolism. These are age, sex, species, race, genetic variation, nutrition and diet, disease, drug-drug interactions, and ninth one, environmental pollutants. Now coming to the first point, age. At extremes of age, the activity of metabolizing enzymes in the liver are low, and hence there is increased risk of toxicity with drugs. Neonates have low microsomal enzymes and glucuronide transferase enzyme activity, and these attain full functional capacity several weeks after the birth. So neonates are potentially at high risk to life-threatening cyanotic condition called gray baby syndrome after use of chloramphenicol, which is mainly metabolized by glucuronyl conjugation reaction. Now coming to the next point, which is sex. Metabolism of olanzapine and clozapine are faster in male as compared to female due to enhanced activity of CYP1A enzyme in the liver of male. So its clearance is faster in male than in female. Olanzapine and clozapine are antipsychotic drugs. Coming to the next point, species. Rabbits metabolize atropine faster than man as they have high atropine esterase activity in the liver and plasma. Coming to the again next point, race. Racial differences in metabolism is less but important. Example, Chinese have high alcohol dehydrogenase but a low aldehyde dehydrogenase activity. So they exhibit higher plasma concentration of aldehyde after alcohol intake, and clinical features present are headache and palpitations. Coming to the next point, which is genetic variation. Differences in drug response due to genetic variation is called pharmacogenetics. Examples of genetic variation of drug metabolism are slow and fast acetylators of isoniazid. There is increased incidence of peripheral neuritis in slow acetylators, whereas there is hepatotoxicity in fast acetylators of INH. Succinylcholine apnea is the next point. Succinylcholine is a neuromuscular blocker agent which is metabolized by plasma pseudocholine esterase enzyme. The duration of action of succinylcholine is 3 to 6 minutes. However, some persons have a typical pseudocholinesterase that metabolizes the drug very slowly. This results in prolonged apnea due to paralysis of respiratory muscles, which is dangerous. This is called succinylcholine apnea. Coming to the next point, which is nutrition and diet. Diet rich in protein and low in carbohydrate increases the rate of metabolism of many drugs. Protein-rich diet supplies glycine and cysteine, which are essential for conjugation reactions. Starvation, on the other hand, leads to enzyme inhibition. Coming to the next point, which is disease. The activity of cytochrome P450 enzymes are impaired in so many diseases like viral hepatitis, alcoholic hepatitis, cirrhosis of liver, hepatocellular carcinoma, and heavy metal poisoning. Hypothyroidism decreases the metabolism of digoxin and methimazole, whereas hyperthyroidism increases the rate of metabolism of many drugs. Other point is drug interaction, which also affects drug metabolism. Many drugs given concurrently with other drugs may cause enzyme induction or enzyme inhibition and so affect the metabolism of drug. Example, concurrent use of ciprofloxacin and theophylline group of drugs. Coming to the next point, environmental pollutants. Cigarette smoke causes enzyme induction. Now coming to the next point with examples of genetic polymorphism in drug metabolism. This table gives so many examples of drugs having genetic defects, therapeutic usage, and clinical consequences. Genetic defect: a typical pseudocholinesterase inherited as autosomal recessive trait. Drug is succinylcholine. Therapeutic use: neuromuscular blocker, and clinical consequences: prolonged apnea due to retarded metabolism. Next, slow N-acetylation. Examples: isoniazid. Therapeutic usage: anti-tubercular, and clinical consequences: peripheral neuropathy. Rapid N-acetylation, inherited as an autosomal recessive trait. Drug isoniazid. Therapeutic use: anti-tubercular drugs, and clinical consequence: hepatotoxicity. Faulty expression of CYP2D6, an autosomal recessive trait. Drug is codeine. Therapeutic use: opioid analgesics, and clinical consequence: reduced analgesia. Thank you to you all.